Hello everyone. I just walked out the door. I'm going to show you a garden tour. I was going to show you a before and after, but the conditions in the air are unbearable health-wise. And I advise you, if you're experiencing this with the wildfires in Canada and the smoke coming in your direction, do not go out in the garden and work. And if you're able to do it, be careful what time you do it. In the middle of the day when the sun is glaring, you do not want that. It can cause problems for just about anyone and is not good for your health. So I'm going to avoid working out in the garden today, so we cannot do the before and after, but I will show you what is going on in the garden, what we are currently harvesting and what is getting ready to pollinate, and just the overall growth in the garden and how it progresses as we move along through the month of July. First, let's take a look at the zucchini. I can't even find it now. Where's the zucchini that I saw? It was huge. I've been harvesting right and left. I'm trying to harvest them smaller this year so they don't get so big and seedy. Because then all you can do is make zucchini bread out of them mainly. This one got a little larger than I expected. Look at that. I'm going to cut it with this little paring knife. There we go. All right. But I used to harvest them a lot bigger than this because I used all of them for zucchini bread and casseroles. We're going to check out the eggplants today. I don't think I see any fruit forming yet. We have lots of flowers. We'll just have to be patient. I'm going to research on eggplant. I haven't grown it in quite a few years. Dan is, he likes eggplant parmesan, but that's it. So that's what this is for. I may prepare some other type of eggplant for myself. So far, I don't see any flowers that have pollinated. Hopefully that will happen soon, or we'll look for a means for self-pollination. Oh, the marigolds are looking good. Yeah, they look real good. I have a lot of crabgrass to get out of there, of course. Now let's look at the Roma tomato plants. This is, these are the tomatoes I like, Romas. I grew 2 plants from the nursery, and the other ones are ones that I planted by seed, either inside the house or direct seed. It's a combination of everything. I see that the black-eyed Susan's coming up. Good. I was hoping it would. This one looks like it's going to bloom too. These are volunteers from, a few years ago. I bought one plant and it reseeded. So this year I'm going to make sure I take those seeds and reseed them because black-eyed Susans are gorgeous. But these Romas are doing pretty good. We've got some tomatoes coming on. We have volunteer cherry tomatoes over here. And I picked a couple earlier for my husband's lunch. Thought there was another one. Oh, here it is. I'm going to go ahead and, can you see that? I'm going to go ahead and pick that one and eat it. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is how I like my tomatoes. I don't like my tomatoes sweet. I like them on the sour side. Oh, I love it. Danny likes them on the sweet side. Cucumbers have been producing right and left. We've got some more coming on here. I thought I saw another one that was just about ready to be harvested. Yes. I need a knife for that too. I like to show close-ups. I think that's important. Or I like to see someone working from a distance, at least doing something besides talking. But yeah, it's very educational to listen to people talk about gardening too. But I really like to see something in action. And that's the videos I usually look for. Let's see. A combination of talking about gardening and actually doing some gardening is nice to demonstrate it. Okay, I got it. Because it has pricklies on it. They're not too bad. You just wipe them off with a rag or something, or gloves. Look at that. These are the cutest little pickles. They're fat and they're short. I love these. So here's the harvest. And I ate the cherry tomato. I've been harvesting quite a bit of veggies lately. They're in the house. And here we have some red onion that needs harvested pretty soon, but I really would like the bulbs to get larger. We pushed back the soil. This process is called spooning, and you can actually use a spoon to do it. These onions will benefit from a bone meal feeding, and we'll wait till the tops fall over before we harvest the red onions. Well, it is hot out, and I'm sure you're experiencing that where you are too, if you're in the northern hemisphere. Because someplace like Australia, New Zealand, it's winter down there, so they're not hot down there, are they? Here's the cabbages. I was just going to let these stay in the garden for a little while. These are from seed right here that I grew myself. And I believe that one right there was from the nursery. Oh yeah, and this one right here. Yeah, came from the nursery. And the rest of them I grew by seed. Either in the house, because I grew some starter plants, and I planted by direct seed also. I do a combination of everything. Then I go to the nursery and I buy just really small plants. They don't cost much at all. We get a 10% veterans discount also. That way I definitely will have a crop if the seedlings don't turn out. But I don't buy the big ones, I buy the small ones, and I don't buy Bonnies. Usually they're more expensive. They're good quality plants, but they're more expensive. Okay. Oh, the carrots. These will be harvested soon, I think. That's a tomato. Kind of have a mixture of tomatoes and carrots. Volunteer tomatoes and carrots mixed in here. You really can't see them. They're pretty far down the ground still yet. I don't have very many, but I'm hoping they'll get really large. Because right now we have carrots from the store that we're using. But when those are gone, I want to use carrots from the garden. We have kale over here. It's doing really well. Anytime we need kale, there it is. Kale always comes back. I don't have to buy it by seed anymore. Now weeds are a problem. The weeds are kind of mixed in with some of these beets. So I need to sort through and do some weeding. We have raspberries growing through here. That's fine because I'm starting a food forest. And this is going to look different next year. But we have dill that's getting ready to seed off. I just love the flowers. But we still have plenty of dill down here. We do use that on potatoes and fish. And we have cilantro. My husband doesn't care for cilantro, so it's just me. And I eat it on anything, like a baked potato. It doesn't matter. I'll put dill and cilantro both on a baked potato. But of course, it is great on Mexican food. So I need to pick some, though, so I'll have it handy. Here we have a hydrangea. It's been here for several years. It always does well. It's small though. And even though the roots are sticking out down there, and last year I covered it up with more soil and compost, but it looks like I'm gonna have to do it again this year to protect it. But actually it looks prettier this year than it did last year. The shape, I love the shape of the hydrangea. I don't know the variety. I bought it from Menards, but it is the kind that blooms in midsummer. Yeah, so we have late summer blooms. We'll still have late summer blooms. And then we have these wonderful summer flowers. I believe it's called echinacea. It's not a word that I use in my everyday vocabulary. I just call them purple cone flowers. Botanical name. To me, it's just a purple cone flower is what it is, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's been here for several years also. Then we have some daisies back here that are late bloomers because well, we have shade over here. I'm surprised the coneflowers are doing this well, in fact. But we have some sun, afternoon sun that really glares through here. So I think that's why these are doing so well. And the daisies are probably being or overshaded by the coneflowers. That might be why. And they're closer to the house also. And actually, I think hydrangeas do better in partial shade. In full sun, sometimes they become stressed, especially the newer plants. So that's not a problem. Okay, but we have an oak tree right there that provides shade. If we want to sit down in this area, we can do that. But there's some poison ivy over there that I need to tend to soon. So we'll be working on that. Every year this comes up along with the English ivy. You can see it over there. See? Where you have English ivy, usually the poisonous ivy tries to grow also. Poison ivy. But we have a lot of weeding to do, and we have some raspberry bushes that come up every year, and I need to trim these out or dig them out because they will not produce berries in this much shade. I can try, but it's not going to happen. It's pretty, but it's very aggressive. You really can't grow much of anything else when you have ivy. I do have that problem. I'll show you where the sweet potatoes are. We grow them way in the back behind the garage. Here's the sweet potato vines. We have sweet potatoes growing through here. These are the ones I purchased 6 from Oakland Nursery. And then I have some sweet potato slips that I started in the house. That was my first experience with that, and it went pretty well. Here's one right here. Yep, and I think there's about four or five through here, and they're kind of mixed in with the other sweet potato vines right now. But here's another one. I just planted these, maybe a week ago. Yeah, they're doing fine. They look like they are. Now they'll produce. That will be a later harvest than this. This should be a much earlier harvest because look how these vines have taken off. And there's some perennials back here that I need to weed out. So we have a lot of weeding to do. And the pumpkin seeds from last year that I never got around to trying to see if I could plant them and grow them, I went ahead and fed them to the birds, and they've been sorting through them and eating them. The cardinals come through here and eat, and I put out a little bowl of water for them also. And every time if I'm digging in the ground, digging up potatoes or anything that I might be doing, and I see a grub, I put it on this table and the birds get it. So I'm making good use of the grubs now. We do have some work to do back here. This is not a very pretty site, but it is very functional as far as we'll be producing some sweet potatoes for food, and we're feeding the birds. We have a little place for the birds, and the cardinals in particular are very happy with this because they live in the evergreen trees. That's where they nest. Thanks for watching today. The garden is always changing. There's always something new going on. I want to see your garden also, so please make a comment so I know who you are. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. This is a work in progress. I may be 63 years old, but I'm never too old to learn. There's always something to learn, and I learn through experience better than anything. I read up on everything, I research everything you can imagine, but the best learning tool is by doing, by gardening, by actually getting out and doing it. And it is a blessing, and hopefully we'll have a video coming up soon where I can show you myself actually working in the garden and putting out plants and seeds for the fall so we can have a really good fall harvest. Because it's not too late to grow your lettuces and your spinaches and all that, but you have to time it just right according to your growing zone. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.